All right. I didn't get a chance to talk about it beforehand or anything like that, but that's kind of weird. Why does that show up there? Interesting. Why does my... All right. I think we're good though.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
So,
Like,
oh yeah, he does
you,
have a mustache.
I've been playing games as long
That's
as
funny.
I can remember. They're a core part of
So,
what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure.
yep.
Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths
Gameplay
of
footage
games,
captured on PC.
hunting a machine god that controlled
funny.
time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry.
It's so funny to me
and their
that
causal abilities to stand alone against monsters
that raid
with
alone
others,
basically
an
made it
entire
worth
squad.
playing Destiny, or to
They'd
keep
race
playing Destiny at that
alongside their
point,
friends
because there was
far
just
into
like
the early
nothing
morning
else
in the
for a
halls of an
while.
ancient city,
Like
where
until
only a
that raid
select
came out,
few
nobody was
emerged
really like
victorious at
feeling
dawn,
Destiny or thought it was
clutching the
worth it to
heart of
stay.
a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world, and together
I think
create
this
new
might be
faces
my
on
favorite
this
commercial.
adventure who would become lifelong companions.
I feel like it
Now,
perfectly sums up
together,
like
we
the
approach
game,
the final shape.
like when meeting with other people.
We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will
Well, that's
be
just
difficult,
weird.
and what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open beta.
I kind of hope
There aren't going to be any guides on the internet.
I kind of
telling
hope the
how to
light
handle
or
it.
the next expansion is kind of
Whether
like
you've been with us
shorter.
from the
Like it doesn't
beginning,
take 10 years.
joined us somewhere
Like I
along
hope
the
I hope
road,
it's like a little bit
or
shorter.
looking at Destiny for the first time.
I don't
Anybody
think
who
they
shows
can
up
do
on
another
launch
10-year like
is going to be
big
greeted
one.
with this same uncharted world, a vacuum-sealed experience, begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
All right. I tested the audio earlier. I think it's like should be a good balance.
After all these
Where it
years,
all started.
we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
Oh, that's weird. That's the final shape,
Why
armor.
you were chosen. The truth is, I didn't know then. It was just a feeling.
Oh, I like that.
But I know now. After all we've seen.
Yeah, he's back.
lost,
Whoa.
This fight might be our last.
Did you see that?
So
Like the
I
tower.
ask
That's a freaking berserk reference, man.
one last time to rise.
Hold on. Was that an axe? February 27th. heart of the
This is a
traveler.
momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for.
Yeah, the axe was definitely a nice surprise.
When we were resurrected by ghosts at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help, and it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning.
I can't get over that shot. It's so good.
Trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be.
That sounds
is the
boring.
final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together.
What a sick
and be
lineup.
brave
I need
in
that
the
as a
face of
wallpaper
oblivion.
shot.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora.
Yeah, it has
Grace,
to.
get to reconnect.
I can see why they brought back Cade, because it
while there's this
feels
great
like
conflict and
a-
everything going on around us,
a just
stakes
straight
of
up
just unimaginable
everybody is
heights,
here
it's
moment
still
to
at
stop
end
the
a
Witness.
story told around
So
campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
whoa.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop
Nature
the final
took
shape.
over the tower.
Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable. And we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange.
Is it
It
like
makes you feel
a
bit
memory
uncomfortable.
sort of thing?
And it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
Oh,
This is the
yeah, it's a
traveler
memory thing. Then.
creating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
Oh man,
most
that's gonna be
memorable
cool. Like
towers from
imagine,
Destiny's past
imagine how
is
much
the D1 tower.
it creates
It's really a labor of love
with like
from
if you're
the
like an
making.
actual veteran
The
from
final
like
shape means so
day
much
one or anything
to
like
everyone
that.
who's
Like that's gonna
building
be
it, and I
crazy.
think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done.
Oh,
I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see
What
things that are
the-
more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. kind of like deconstructing
It's
things
just the
and putting
entire
them back
story of
together.
its universe.
Just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the subjugators.
Okay.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape.
They have used Strand.
They have an enhanced power set. They're performing
They
stasis
stasis
powers,
also.
Strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there.
They just
away
bow
with
to
stasis
us?
abilities,
Saying, like,
throwing
GG, no
crystals at
re?
you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
Huh.
We're focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora.
Really
and Kate.
appreciate that. Like I said, I think it's just everybody is here moment.
After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination. And so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
That is far.
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able
Slight
to
spoiler.
overcome the final shape and the witness.
Harnessing the
In
light.
the final shape,
Are we getting
inside
subquest
the
tuning?
Traveler. Very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We
What?
want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
Okay. Oh.
The Warlock Super is its ultimate expression of solar energy.
Are we back
coursing
to
through
Sun
the
Singers?
dark. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right
Whoa.
now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling.
Finally, Sun Singer's
grenade
back.
Almost being sentient as it searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy.
I wonder if
that
the
you're also
armor
giving
bonus
it
is
to
there
your
too.
allies,
Like,
allowing
obviously it's a
them to have
roaming,
their
but
solar
still.
weapons supercharged,
Ooh.
applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul.
We
that
have
when
the
it sees an
final
enemy,
buddy.
it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive.
Nice.
Twilight Arsenal.
Ooh.
It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it. Summons
Oh
another
my
one,
God.
Throws it. Summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it.
What?
And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing, where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around.
We can
and
use
you
it.
And your allies can go and pick up that axe and start wailing on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan
Nice.
aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive
Nice. All right.
The Hunter Arc Super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points.
Is
The Hunter
that-
kind of rears back, takes
Is that
this
Minato's
and
yellow?
throws it across the world.
Yeah.
And then is able to blink to its position, do the
I
slash
knew
that
at the
just
moment
decimates
they
the enemy
blinked.
One really
Yeah.
great thing about that is not just you do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The
Dang.
Hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies
Well,
you and any allies.
Okay, so it's
It almost makes
back.
you feel like you're playing a
The
fighting game, right?
that's
Like
from the
these
beta,
combos
like
you're
that
chained
animation at
together to
least.
do these different moves.
Yeah, that
Like, take
that used to be an
same
aerial
action
attack
and
for the
more
roaming
aspects
super
you
for
have, the
Arc
more
Strider
capable
in
we
the
are.
beta.
it feels like you're like
So they brought it
lightning, you know?
back
Like that
for like a different
instantaneous,
use.
That was good, but I think it's more like, you know.
I think they're only gonna go with like 3 reveals, obviously, because they can't show everything. I really wanted to see the Void Warlock, but what we got was pretty good.
We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got
Light
perks.
Beyond
We're always cooking up
Nemesis?
stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has
It's a
the
pre-order.
really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the
Huh.
first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional
Interesting.
property that you can special
It's like
reload
Susanoo,
to,
but like
reshape your
for
grenade
every
and
class
suck it
now.
into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile.
Beep.
That's a really special weapon.
What's
I
the
like
one
that.
specific
That's pretty
exotic
good.
that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but really turn them
Hothead.
into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvastov into the fold.
The
Finally.
exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath,
Dragon's Breath.
burn the world, burn it all.
Get back.
In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Dragon's Breath was like really bad in D1, so I hope they made it a lot better.
Rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We
What?
always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
Yeah, that
They
looks
have
about
a
right.
mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies.
Yeah,
I'm really excited
that
to
could work.
bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
I hope there's different archetypes because that looks like the slowest one.
Always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Okay.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back!
I'm back.
Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent. This is great. Anyone want a hug? Get your rock off
Off my map.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
All right, back to work.
Better get back to it.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cade like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation.
I still don't think it's permanent. I think it's only while staying there.
His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cade goes through in this journey, how
Whoa.
he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga.
Without-
this didn't have Cade
without Cade,
alongside
yeah.
his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cade's role as a guide. Cade is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cade is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the group. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cade's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark
Yeah,
path.
he's
About
been going
the
through
weight that's
it.
been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cade's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think is going to be great for them.
I think a lot of us
Well,
would have liked the original
we have
cast, but
We want people to take away
unfortunately,
that sense of reunion and
with the
that
original
idea
voice
of,
actors
like,
for
the
Ikora just
gang
being
back
busy,
together for this
and
moment.
obviously Lance Reddick's passing,
Wherever the hell
it's
here
a
is.
solemn moment for sure, but it's nice to see them all back for the finale. Unlocking the path. They said it was about 45 minutes.
Guardian, the witness poses a dire threat,
I think this is season 22 stuff.
and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek.
Oh, she has a staff now.
Only if we contend with her sister, Zivu Ara.
All right.
It rests with me. Will you come back from this? Do not be afraid.
Eris?
Bring me your tithes.
You know
What?
hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the spire, Guardian, and open the way to our tithes.
Ooh. There's the boomer shot.
Let them know fear. The death of whispers, and they do whisper.
We got tarot cards now.
Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
No. Please tell me we're not killing Eris.
Your brutal tributes.
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You have found the horn of battle. You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Till November 28th. Okay.
Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's
Great.
like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first, and that bigger problem's name is Zivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger.
What's her
Eris
deal?
Has an idea. It's a really
good
It's a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines, like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your build craft
Dealing
meta,
void damage,
buffs,
dealing
and
arc
activities.
damage,
They
dealing.
can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into
Whoa.
the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny gameplay has just been like, oh, chef's kiss.
It's
really
super
fun.
Interesting.
So we've got 2 brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary
Actually like
for
it.
all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summonings activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll
Why do they
get
call it
progressively
that?
more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
Ooh. That's new
We really
shit.
wanted to make sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting
Right, yeah,
Message, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most
Okay.
fun content the team has making. It's some of the
More
content
exotic
that
missions
fans and
coming in
players are getting
2024.
the
I wouldn't
most
be
exciting
surprised
thing
if like
outside of just the missions themselves.
some of the older ones
every
came
time we
back.
put a mission
Maybe
inside of that
Whisper
rotator,
and
the exotic that comes alongside of it will
the
become
Zero
craftable.
mission. It depends.
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new.
Because I also feel like they'd
lo-fi
want
PvP
to
map
keep it
coming.
like
It's really
some of the
exciting.
newer
It's got a
stuff.
bunch of really tight gameplay experiences. We wanted to make sure that we focused the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex Network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with, and a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex Network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past.
This one sounds
So we've got the
interesting.
shield coming from Vault of Glass.
I wouldn't
We've got the
mind
spear
just, you know,
from Season of the
messing
Risen.
with
We've
it,
got the scythe from
but
Season of the
well,
Hunt. Yeah, so you're
we'll
gonna be
see.
reaping guardians with that thing.
Like it's another
It's a lot more
fun
tactical
mode.
gameplay.
Like
It's
just
all
play
about
it.
running
You know.
around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hyvey this season, obviously. There's something in the
All right, so if that's not enough confirmation that it's Crota, I don't know what else to tell you.
This very Hyvey season. There's only one answer.
It's Crota time.
I have seen what the Hive call
Oh God. The armor's back. The ornament armor's back from D1. I really want to see this.
only a true
Necrochasm.
can stop his wrath.
She was not there before. She was inside. There you go. D1 armor. Get it. Go get it. It's one of the best. I think that's one of the best, like, Age of Triumph ornaments they've ever done, if I'm being completely honest.
We really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand, and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach
Yeah,
it.
I don't see them increasing the level until final shape, honestly.
A certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without
That
having
was
to wait
unfortunately
until
part of the
certain power
leaks.
level. The person with the highest power
Yep.
in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other guardian to join you in this
1995.
high
Yeah,
level
Fire Team
Fire
Power is
Team
basically the
Finder
whole
also
thing.
allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fire Team Finder is the new feature that's
Yeah,
coming in
so-
season 23, aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational content in Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time.
Yeah, I appreciate that they're finally bringing this in. Like, I know that they wanted to try and get it out sooner, but I mean, like, I'd rather have it out now, or like, you know, I'd rather have it eventually be out than never, because it's just bad to not have enough G systems.
Closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this.
Yeah,
because it really
basically
is
meet
about
up in
helping
game,
reduce that
get the
anxiety and
Discord,
burden that comes with trying
or
to
make the party chat, and then go from there.
The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions that we felt really represent key narrative beats within our story. We are going to have a mission for Forsaken, mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
How
The neat
far
thing about
back
these
does
missions
this
is they're not going to be like
go?
one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're
Like,
also going to get additional
we're talking D2 vanilla?
pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is Cade's last stand from Forsaken.
Of course.
This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features.
So this
that
isn't
are
a
gonna
bad
allow
feature,
those
but
players to jump right in,
it sounds like
find
it's
people to
still
play with,
pretty
and enjoy
limited.
this content regardless of their power level.
And I get that they don't want to show like everything from like the Red War or anything, but like I still feel like we should have the entirety of Destiny.
We're reaching the end of this 10-year journey. What comes next?
The episodes. And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
Episodes.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act
6
as these
weeks.
anchors for us to introduce new weapons.
Act 2 is
new
6
artifact
weeks.
mods,
Act 3 is
new
6
activities.
weeks.
There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually
Okay, so we have something
standalone.
happening
Each
after the final
episode
shape.
is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10
And
years
I
or this is your
think
first
this
one.
is
You're gonna be able to
pretty
basically
good
enjoy
with
them
how
any
they're
order you
trying
want
to
to.
do
The
it.
opportunity
So
to
I want to see how this
is
plays
that
out.
We get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform
Whoa.
of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes
Yeah,
provide us a new
supposedly they want to upgrade the engine a little bit more.
throughout the year.
But I want to see what happens after these episodes. Like, I want the game to kind of go down for a little bit so that they can fix whatever they need to. Like, you know, like a couple of months or something like that. At most a year, but I don't think that'll happen. But we have to wait until 2025 to really see if anything like that happens.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead.
We have 10 more
We are the
minutes.
final line that halts the second
So-
collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery.
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
So the final shape stuff was like pretty good, like for what they've shown. But
There are things out in the dark that only the
I can see why like they don't want to show everything, obviously, because there's still the other element subclasses for each of the classes.
Descending upon humanity.
Like we haven't seen Void Warlock, we haven't seen Arc Warlock, Solar Titan, Arc Titan, Solar Hunter, and then Void Hunter. Like I want to see what they do. I'm hoping Stasis gets some tuning. Like I want to see like an offensive Stasis super for each of the classes. But yeah, 6 weeks might seem like a little long, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
We get to make good on a promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end,
Like I said, still probably my
simple
favorite
message.
commercial.
Become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined
armor.
progression system, allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning. But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this, we've got
Season
of the Witch,
22.
with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks of our aspirational content. I can't wait
I wanna
to
see
you
how it
along with
plays
the
out.
world as we learn more about the final shape and how we can stop it.
All right. There you go. So, yeah. Definitely some cool stuff for Final Shape. I think, like, aside from this, might be like the coolest shot I've seen. Like, Eris becoming full hive is insane. But yeah, no, all the subclass like supers that we're getting. Sunsinger coming back. Yeah, no, it looks great. I'm looking, like, of course I'm looking forward to it. Like, I've been playing this for like 10 years, like 9 years now. We're about to finish it. And obviously I'm interested in how the episodic thing's gonna work out for after the Final Shape. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Cause I need to, oh jeez. I never get the physical collector's edition. I just get the year thing. So it's always sold out like immediately anyway. So like I never get it.
Recreate items from the universe for players to enjoy outside of the game. So this year we're doing a Destiny 1.
Wow!
We really try to work hard at thinking about 10 years of Destiny and how best to.
Oh my god, that's actually cool.
Even as the game dev who've worked on it since day one, like I think having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's
damn
catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing.
I kind of want that.
Tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower, and then there are actual figures of the Vanguard mentors.
I kind of want that.
Architectural model.
There's a lot of like hidden messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope, and so we can play a lot with magnetic locks and sound effects and lights. Just sort of make this experience as a whole really special.
Where would I put it
It's sort
though?
of a
Shoot.
perfect symbol of Destiny. I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
That's crazy. I actually kind of want that. The Final Shape. All right. I think that's everything. They didn't really show them any other exotics. They showed weapons. Post show starting soon. Okay, I'm not gonna. Oh, I can get this. Cool. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Definitely looking forward to it, obviously. But I can see why they did. Like, I think I'm more interested in the episodic thing happening next year than the Final Shape, because it's like they don't want to tell us everything about the Final Shape. We have to experience it for ourselves. So yeah. No darkness subclass. Well, they're not going to show it yet. It's probably part of the story, that's why. So yeah, really cool.